Hello everybody and welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm Count Christo and this is the Light in the East campaign. We are the marvelous Ottoman. We recently had some problems because we went heavily intolerant. We cranked our tolerance of heathens down to -4, which means we can convert at breakneck pace, but it also means that we got all these oppressed presences and we had massive unrest, and so far we've had like 60,000 rebels. So we're going to give up on the whole intolerance thing and do a hard pivot back towards tolerance and the more historical and the more optimal way to play. So much as I am enjoying these very rapid conversions, and we're going to try and focus on ones that impact religious unity the most, we are going to pivot back towards tolerance and peace, which honestly will be more pleasing to roleplay. So that'll be fine. We also finally switched off military elite, which dropped our manpower by, surprise, about 20%. But we now have the appointed elite, so we're going to start cranking down the autonomy once we can finally core up lots of this land that we haven't been able to. And we're actually getting free cores on some of it already, so that's great. We're going to be in a really good place. We're also getting some religious conversion from our Crimean center of religion from trade, which is pretty nice. Meanwhile, we're just gathering the troops in Izmit, and obviously our war with the Mamluks was stupendously successful. We're going to go to war with them again in about 11 years. And, yeah, should be good. The problem that's developed recently is that Hungary is allied with France. This is, of course, entirely predictable. We rivaled France with threatening Hungary. Poland I will also rival. If Poland and France and Hungary are allied against us, we're going to have problems, but that isn't going to stop me. We're probably going to be able to eclipse them. But yes, our power projection is pretty terrible right now. Culture conversion has made no significant progress since the last episode. We've made some little bits of inroads into the Greek, but we're now a cultural union with all of the other Turkic cultures, so obviously that's going to slow us down. And of course we have our new subject in the east. Okay, I think that's enough summarizing. You guys should be suppressing the rebellions in these regions if at all possible, because we do not want to have to fight quite so many noble rebels if at all possible. So we will see how effectively you can try and bring those down. Greek, the famous Turkic culture, says chat. Yes, it's not a perfect simulation. But oh well. I do want to cancel autonomous suppression because I'm going to have one of them go over here and one of them come over here. This is a 22. This is a 25. We will split that, bring them over here. Cool. Okay, yeah, so the potential Polish-Hungarian-French alliance is troubling. Hungary has this weird little Danzig ownership up here. I think because they were overlords over Poland at the time when all the Danzig events fired. But we shall see. We have recently built up to our force limit and we are a bit in debt because when our previous ruler died, we were a little bit desperate for legitimacy. Also have a religious crisis going on just now. Manpower low happened to us. That's actually a good sign. Means that we are beginning to get back some from the... well, it hasn't gone up actually. Another core we can do up here. We're also beginning to establish our furthest northern expansion, at least here. We are not going to own any provinces in this region directly, apart from the ones we already do, with the obvious exception of Kaffa and Jericho. Is that how you say that? Jericho? like Jericho? That seems a little unlikely, doesn't it? I must remember to try my best to keep my voice a little down because my fiancée is asleep, and the way that we have set up the study is that it actually shares a door with the bedroom. So I should do my best to not actually whisper because that would kill my throat, but to at least keep things a little quiet for her. And we will just do our best to generally suppress. Seems good. ASMR. No, there will not be any whispering ASMR, Christo. We've run that joke as far as I want to take it in other streams. So we almost certainly have a tanking court. No, court is holding steady. What about education? Yeah, education is tanking because we've taken all this huge quantity of new land. We haven't dedicated any new money towards the education system, which obviously is problematic. And we were working so hard on all of those upper class pops and trying to give every single one of them access to a university. We were down to 8 at one point. We had only 8 upper class pops without university access, and now we have 42. Marvelous. So obviously we'll need to that's the wrong one. Obviously we'll need to take a look at the advisors. They are recommending another 1,700 ducats be granted to the education system just to maintain its current level, and that's with a dramatic increase in our discretionary spending. How much are we now spending on education per month? Oh, not that much actually. 14 ducats. It's up, but it's not up a huge amount. We need to try and get our church influence as high as possible, maybe even to the extent that we shouldn't be taking church influence away from them, because it's obviously amazing for our stability. Taking land away from the church. Okay, thank goodness. We managed to reduce the oh my lord. a 5-4-5-2 general. He is quite nice. But yeah, we should be able to put these two down pretty easily, and that leaves us with just the Bulgarian separatists and then probably some Albanian and or Serbian separatists up here. Now these two provinces, do we want to hold them directly? We could give them to Serbia. They don't have claims on them, but they're basically inconsequential provinces. The thing is, I'd rather hold them just to make my estates more wealthy and then hope the estates invest in farm infrastructure somewhere more important, like Thrace, with the money that they're getting from more distant lands. I think there should be a mechanic where your nobles prefer investing in provinces of your home culture to simulate the fact that, yes, sure, there are some local nobles out here, but realistically, most of the nobles in our nation that own land out here in say, Albania are probably Turkish nobles, you know, overseas. But what is this? The lesser nobles? We definitely can't afford to do this because we can't afford to lose the legitimacy. So I'm going to accept it and give the lesser nobles a single privilege. The tax exemption, 20% tax. Do we just revoke it immediately? I think we might. The lesser nobles are losing happiness right now, which is not good. I think I'm going to give them some prestige. Try and juice them up a little bit, but then I am going to revoke it because I'm enjoying having such little corruption coming from our estates. We basically only have it from greater nobles, and then obviously, you know, typically as the game goes on, you begin to lower your problems with the estate's corruption, and you intend to get more corruption from the your court itself, from your centralization. But it looks like we don't have any. What was I going to say? Didn't get any stab loss from that in the end, which is good. Obviously, rather risk it on one. I'm totally losing my train of thought this evening. 10% rather than 25% and a 50% in other incredibly obvious news. So yes, we now have the lessers and the burghers at no privileges at all, and the greater nobles are at I think that's 2, because there's 20% and then 40%. That's another 2, and that's 1. So they have 5 privileges for the greater nobles. So we have 5 privileges in total in the whole empire, which honestly is pretty good. And we are now formally an empire. Looking around the world a little bit, what is that offensively pink colour? Please, Morocco, do the world a favour and take that country out. Oh, Mongolistan has formed. I believe they don't start in the game. And as we saw, yes, Ming is maintaining their rule over the Kingdom of Heaven so far. Dun, dun, dun. I fully suspect we're going to get plenty stronger states in this campaign, because we're not going to be able to maintain low autonomy in all the regions, but we will see. Do I want to get 10% production efficiency in the capital, but less manpower, or do I want to get the same? Oh, right, we're just reducing the number of provinces. Yeah, no, live in peace, that's completely fine. And we're getting some Christianity in decline pop-ups. Again, we were looking at Macedonia and being a little bit concerned. I'm not sure we're ever going to be able to integrate these guys. I mean, let's do the maths, shall we? Right now, assuming we let their Tyrant Overlord thing tick all the way down, which is frustrating, it's going to take a long time, we have 20 from the vassal, 10 from transfers trade, and 100 from improved relations. Okay, so we're starting with 130. But then we're having to take away 50 for the neighboring heretic different religion. Oh, but we can just... Oh, I'm being an idiot. We can just convert them. We can just convert Macedonia. When we need to, obviously not yet, we can just... No, we can't, because that's not a thing in MEIOU and taxes. I forgot. Okay, so bringing the calculator back again. We start with 130, we take 50. Not with 13. We start with 130, we take 50. That gets us to 80 relations. Remember, we have to get another 110. We add in 25 from a gift and 25 from influence. That's 130. We add in 15 from subsidies. That's 145. That's it, right? We can't marry them. So we can only ever get their happiness with us to 145, which is not sufficient to integrate them. That's real unfortunate. I think we're going to have to grant Macedonia independence and then conquer them. Which is a little frustrating. That is... Is that right? There's no other ways, is there? We can't offer them military access. We can't marry them. We can't guarantee them. You know what we could do? We could give them land in a war. Yeah, the point is we can only get to... If we grant a gift and subsidize and influence them, that only gets us to 145 opinion, and we have to get to 190. Because we can only improve by 100 relations, not 200 like in vanilla. But that's okay. We'll basically just have to... We'll just release them and then conquer this land. But we don't want this land directly yet anyway. We only want this land directly when we're capable of building and kind of have the manpower and the income to build a road network that makes it worth holding this inland, hilly terrain. Wrong culture, wrong religion terrain. So, that should be fine. We can come to that when we come to it. This and more redundant statements with tune in today. Okay, where was that rebellion? Really, really getting on my nerves that we're not getting pop-ups for rebellions. But I will try and stop complaining about it, because that's the brand. Positivity, baby. Permanent vassals in MEIOU and taxes I find very enjoyable, but the integration system is... I like that it's slower. I like that having a vassal is a bigger deal. In vanilla, a vassal is just like an incredibly temporary... Like you know, you can have a vassal that lasts less long than a truce, which is honestly ridiculous. But a few more cores we can start. Well, one more at the cost they're coming at now. So, in Arabic lessons with Christo, last stream we learnt that al means the. So what is it saying on all of these provinces that are called the such and such? Why is it not the Alexandria? But it is here. Well, I mean, it is. It's al Alexandria for the second one. I mean, that second word, I'm going to say something quite obvious here. That second word is not the same. But so, I'm not quite sure what that's about. Conversion. Hang on. You can break vassalization of a march, can't you? So maybe we should make Macedonia a march. But then again, I mean, the 1.3 ducats a month it's pretty tasty. I can't deny it. Conversions continuing apace. I think having one fanatical ruler is probably, it might even be good, even though it's bad in the long run, because being able to get a lot of these conversions done. The other thing is that we'd have a lot less unrest if we just had good religious unity. But I don't know. I think this level of unrest is pretty challenging, especially because there's large sections of wrong religion land that we're going to be conquering, especially when we get to India. And converting India would be, oh baby, it's not doable. Of course, we'd be adding India to trade companies, and trade companies you don't get the penalties for intolerance. We just have some separatists where they want to leave. I love that tooltip. It's Beirut that's getting them. Okay. Why are they not Mamlukian separatists? Not sure. Continuing attaching artists in Bursa. Yes, please. We're nearly at silk. I've ceased it here, though. No. No EU4 soundtrack with words, please. They're coming back. Good. You still on autonomous? No. Let's put these guys back on autonomous. And just spread it out. I've never used autonomous rebel suppression and actually let it kill the rebels before. I've always previously wanted to min-max it more than that. You guys can definitely keep attracting guys. Is there anywhere else we should be changing up? Oh, hey, nice. These guys did get their local center of production back with the Corporation Guild and didn't take it off, isn't it? Excellent. Well, I'm going to immediately change the urban good. And then I'm going to attack qualified artisans. Anywhere else I should be attracting qualified artisans? Kaffa. I think Genoa, you might be a good next target, actually. Because Genoa is allied to Castile. And obviously Castile, well, a bit scary. But I'm pretty sure our navy is just 100% dominant now. Okay, not against England, because England always has a freaking massive navy. But against Genoa, they only have 19 ships. Have I missed Castile? No, Castile just has 11 ships. Okay, so we really ought to be able to fight. Gets me every time, man. We really ought to be able to fight. Isn't that in your zone? Yeah. Are you going to go here and then go here, or are you going to recalculate when you arrive in the next province? You better recalculate when you arrive in the next province. Come now. Head south. No? Okay, well, I'll do it for you then. Okay. And yeah, as you can see, manpower, a bit of an issue with the number of rebels that we have popping up. But we will see. Someone saying in chat, I mean, I don't need to say someone. Deriak is saying in chat that the all or nothing system of religion in EU4, you can't selectively persecute in some areas and tolerate in others. It's frustrating because that's it's very unhistorical. It's also you know, it's limiting on your choice, which is rarely good. It doesn't let you apply kind of trade-offs you might plausibly want to apply. Well, you know what you should do. You should tell Gigao that, who is currently coding the update to the religious system in MEIOU and taxes and is currently in the chat. So you should do that. It's true, you do have some degrees of separation, so you can have different levels of tolerance for heretics and for heathens, and in MEIOU and taxes as I'm not sure actually, as Muslim or as Sunni. Do the jizya taxes only apply if you're Sunni? I'm not sure. You have the ability to selectively tolerate Christians or Jews, but Deriak is right. Historically, people tolerated or didn't tolerate religions in regions sometimes. So, you know, the result of a treaty with a rebelling army might be like, we'll grant religious freedoms to our Serbian possessions and things like that. I'm not sure how you'd model that in EU4, though. It's a very interesting question, though. That would be really fun. Almost like, not like this, actually, because this is not a very good system, in my opinion, but like a CK3 vassal contract thing with cultures in EU4. I mean, M&T. No, it's never going to happen in Vanilla, obviously. Could be kind of interesting. Where you... good omens. Nice. 1% missionary zeal. Fantastic. That's really helpful. Where you have the ability to say, like, okay, for people in the... Great, that's funny. You do it, like, by culture... Sorry, I need to go on the culture. You do it by culture group. So you'd say, like, okay, for Egyptians, we're going to grant... You know, I say group because individual cultures would just be too much work, but too much work on the player's end. But if you could say, like, okay, for the Egyptian culture, I would like to grant... We're going to have these privileges granted to that culture. And then for the Turkic cultures, we're going to have these privileges granted. And the privileges could be things like religious freedom, no effect from negative tolerance of their religion. That'd be a really cool system. What's the green culture just left of the Egyptians? This is Bedouin. But wait, Bedouin? I thought Bedouin was Arabic. That's weird. I could just be... I don't know. Yeah, I think it's the classic example with a lot of global mechanics that don't make any sense to be global is things like the colonial empire. Like if you want to start persecuting specifically animists in Brazil as Portugal, you also have to start persecuting Muslims in Morocco, you know, which make, you know, assuming you own both, obviously, which makes, you know, exactly no sense, because there's, or at least there should be in a perfect world, and obviously all this can be very difficult to code and implement, but in a perfect world there's no difference. So there's no reason, no connection between your level of persecution of people in each of those regions. Well, we've pretty much stabilized now on unrest, but we'll see. We'll see. People are pointing out that there are some game balance issues if you have recently conquered territory just until the unrest turns down, then convert them later. Yeah, so I think revoking a privilege from a region should cause massive unrest in that region. Oh, excuse me, my fiance is requesting my attention. Let me mute you, chat. And I'm back. Okay. So now these guys are here, they can do their suppression. Do we still need the suppression? Ooh, okay. I would rather have the cash up front, please, because we have a loan to pay off. Nice, extra couple of ducats from that. I'm going to switch these guys to drilling, actually, because I think the unrest is more or less handled now. And you know, as soon as the unrest starts to look kind of handled, I begin to think, maybe we can go high piety. But no. No, low piety is much better. The difficulty is war goals, but... Are there special war goals for taking over trade company regions? Does anyone know this in chat? I really feel like there are. I'm not sure. Because otherwise, obviously, we'll have to wait for imperialism. And then when we get there, I'll have to mod imperialism again. When does imperialism come in again? I can't remember. Is it 32 or something? I'm not sure it's the same as vanilla. Around 1650? I think it might be earlier in MEIOU and taxes. There's like early imperialism if you have enough centralization. Do I want to take this? Puts us ahead of time, which gives us less corruption. So yeah, it's worth spending a couple of extra diplo. Cloth industry has specialized. Silk, please. Beautiful. Largest city on the subcontinent, largest city on the subcontinent, sitting opposite each other. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So we do still have this thriving merchant community. Just for this year. Okay, never mind. Have we got a better silk bonus now? We must do, surely. We actually have a timber deficit. Okay, I need to look into that. Okay, it's still some silk. Outrageous. And we are a respectable court, average education, and still inhabited. Everything's staying pretty similar right now. So let's take a look at our timber management, because I never look at this. Currently producing 17, and we're consuming 18, partly because of our shipyards. State Navy is actually not very much of it. So forestry policy. The page where you can manage the forestry laws. These ordnance would increase the amount of timber and wood produced, becoming necessary for lack of timber. But if your general population is really small, they can be counterproductive. Well, that's not going to be relevant. The legalization institution is necessary, and each step needs an amount of centralization, which are -3, 0, and 3. What do you mean? -4, 0, and 3. Centralization is a sliding scale from 0 to 100. Or maybe higher. I'm not actually certain if there's a cap on that in MEIOU taxes. I'm not really sure what that means. But anyway, we can trigger this, which gives us more national unrest. Oh, you get -2.5 raw goods produced nationally, and you lose stability? This sucks, man. And what do I get? Plus 20% sailors modifier, which must mean 20% more timber production, surely. That seems really bad. I'm not going to do this. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. So what can we do about it? What's the actual effect of our deficit right now? Shipbuilding. Ship cost 10%, durability 2.5. So I'm basically just going to eat that. I'm just going to not grow the navy for a while until we've conquered some more wooded provinces. Because I'm not prepared to lose 2.5% of all the farmland in the country, including of our beautiful Cypriotic cash crops. I mean, come on. Nice. Some more conversions happening. Wait, a conversion here? I really thought that place was already Sunni. Stop with the freaking Friedrich's epistles. Please, dear God. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Friedrich. I'm sure your epistles are excellent. But I can't handle talking or coughing when I'm trying to record. Turn them all off. Okay. Where do we want to convert next? Basically, yes, Synop. Synop has a big impact on religious unity. Yeah, I only really use the music player to say, please don't play the songs that have words in them. Because basically songs that have words in them I find them kind of mind flooding when I'm recording. It's difficult for me to talk while someone else is talking. Maybe it's just my inherent politeness trying to prevent me. Is this why we have so many problems with universities? Egypt, you didn't have any universities? You just have everyone learning in Cairo? Oh, yeah. Oh, I got a world famous university in Cairo. What good does that do the people of Alexandria, huh? Start coring another one down here. Just 3 provinces left to start coring. Really making progress on that. What were we going to do with the money? We had a project. Right, yes. Constantinople needs a Craftsman's district as a matter of some urgency. Lombard goods. Why would I ever do this? Do I want to get loyalty and money and someone happier than me? I guess I do give Milan, one of Milan's province, more money, or I could lose loyalty and happiness. Of course, I will take that. Numball coring. Okay, good. That seems like a event that should not have 2 options. I was talking about art in Constantinople, but we will see. I was also thinking, freaking bad placement. That's what that is. Let's take 10 dudes. Did it take a remotely sensible set of 10 dudes? They'll do. No rebelling on my Crete. And then we just have these, bits of unrest basically where we're converting. And apart from that, rebels are pretty much coming under control. The Ottoman rebels should be a pretty small 12,000 from 2 provinces. Hopefully the conversion here will happen before they fire, but it probably won't. Well, it might. 20% chance a month, 1.6 years. This is going to last another... yeah, okay. No, we should be okay. If we If we roll the statistically average rolls, we should be safe. You have, which is like one of the most boring sentences I think I've ever said. I'm going to have the another 443. Rolling great generals. We should have rolled more generals when we were at, like, actually 99 army tradition like we were during the Mamlukian War. Can I have anything useful off you again? Yes. Give me another expansion of citizenship, please. And then, I'm tempted to give the lesser nobles a privilege so we can demote some greater nobles. Like, I'd rather have the lesser nobles with one privilege and less greater nobles, but I don't know. It's not a high priority. That's another thing I'm really looking forward to in MEIOU and Taxes 3.0. I mean, looking forward to. I already have it, but I'm looking forward to it being more done, so I feel like I can play it as the, you know, the main line of EU4. Is the greater and lesser noble conflict as it's modeled in MEIOU and Taxes. It's way cooler than the estates conflicts you get in vanilla, but it leaves a lot to be desired still. The kind of, especially the fact that conquest makes your greater nobles proportionally stronger because provinces retain their previous allegiance, which makes absolutely no sense, because when you conquer land as the state, and, you know, especially a centralized powerful state, of course you should have more control over who gets the land. Charges of apostasy. We have some apostates in the new Sunni Athens. I will. How long is religious controversy? I'm prepared to lose. Is it the? Oh no, it's the artists. I need him. They are sinners, but still Muslims. I'm going to lose 2 whole % of conversion speed in order to stand up for my artist, because he was really, really good. What was I saying? Yeah, so when you conquer new land as a centralized state, it serves almost always to make your greater nobles proportionally stronger, which is obviously madness, because, like, sure, if you conquer the land using mostly noble armies, they could, like, demand, like, okay, we deserve to get a bunch of land because we did the conquering. But when you conquer it with a professional army run by a centralized state, you could give it to whoever you want, most specifically, the state. I don't know how that works in 3.0. Like, land in provinces is owned by specific groups. One of those groups is the state. One of those groups is, you know, nobles. One of them is peasants. One of them is residents. One of them is kind of tradesmen or craftsmen or burghers. I can't remember the words exactly for each group. I wonder if when you conquer land, a higher than average proportion of it is kind of awarded to the state because you're conquering it. you're taking over. You're with certain CBs, obviously that wouldn't make sense, but with others, like when obviously this is not an EU4 time frame, but when William the Conqueror took over England, he owned all of it, and is this right? I might get my English history like wildly wrong here, but I think from then on, technically, with some exceptions around the weirdness with the Pope at one point, I think technically from then on, the King of England owned all of the land, and he allowed other people to have it. That might be bollocks. That might be completely wrong. But anyway, at least briefly, he owned all the land, and then he gave it out, right, to the nobles that he wanted to have it. So the question is, do you want so when you conquer land, you should be certain. It should be, in my opinion, to a certain extent, in your gift, how much of it you give out. Like, I've no idea how you would program that, but I, for example, would like to hold on to complete ownership of all of the local mines, especially in gold-producing provinces. So we're going to go with not conservative Sharia law. We're going to go with liberal Sharia law. Well, no, for now we're still fanatic, so let's go with conservative Sharia law. Yeah, fine. Might as well be fanatic while we're being fanatic, even though that's going to cause more unrest. And how goes our professionalism? We're getting there, 34%. Oh no, this does have the yearly professionalism down modifier in this build of the game. I'm going to go and mod that immediately. thank you very much for watching, everybody. I'm going to go and mod the game. I do not like that army professionalism decays. Yes, it's realistic. No, it's not fun, because drilling armies is not fun, in my opinion. I'd much rather have something which says, like, do you want to slowly gain army professionalism by paying 25% more in your military costs than having to manually set all my armies to drill, because it's just, I mean, the individual unit drill is essentially worthless in single player, and the yeah, I don't like that. So I'm going to go and mod that right now. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.